There are moments in life when the world feels heavy, when the air itself seems thick with fear. Moments when everything you believed was secure begins to shake, and even your own heart feels like it might give out. You wake up and the weight is already there. That quiet whisper of anxiety, that invisible storm brewing behind your thoughts. And in those moments, when fear has a voice, when it echoes louder than hope, you remember the words of Psalm 56:3. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. At first those words sound simple, but they hold an ocean of meaning. Because it's not if I'm afraid, it's when. God knows fear will come. He knows we will tremble. He knows there will be nights when we can't sleep and days when we feel lost. And yet he doesn't shame us for being afraid. Instead, he gives us a way through it. Trust. Trust is not denial. It's not pretending the storm isn't real. It's choosing to believe that even in the storm you are not alone. It's remembering that the one who created the wind also commands it to be still. There was a time I thought faith meant being fearless, that if I just believed hard enough, I would never be afraid again. But then life happened. Loss came, pain came, silence came. And I realized that faith isn't the absence of fear. Faith is what you hold on to in the middle of it. When you're afraid, you have a choice. You can let fear dictate your steps, or you can let trust guide your heart. And sometimes trusting doesn't feel like victory. Sometimes it feels like whispering a prayer through tears you can't stop. It feels like standing on shaking ground and still saying, Lord, I trust you. In those moments, something holy happens. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. But deep inside, a seed of peace begins to grow. You start to realize that fear doesn't have to control you, because your faith is anchored in something stronger than your feelings. God never promised that we'd live without fear. He never said the waves wouldn't rise or the fire wouldn't burn. But he promised this: I will be with you. And when the Almighty says, I am with you, that is enough to silence every storm inside the soul. Think about it. The Creator of heaven and earth, the one who commands the galaxies and knows every star by name. He knows your name too. He sees your trembling hands, your weary eyes, your anxious heart. And still he whispers, trust me. Maybe today you're standing at the edge of something unknown. Maybe you've been betrayed, or you're facing loss, or you're simply tired. The world says be strong, but God says be still, and know that I am God. That stillness is not weakness, it's surrender. It's saying, Lord, I can't carry this alone. And he replies, you were never meant to. When you let go, you make space for his strength to carry you. When you choose to trust, you open the door for peace to walk in. Trusting in God doesn't mean you'll always understand his ways. In fact, there will be times when you don't. There will be prayers that go unanswered for a while, seasons that feel like silence, moments where you'll wonder if he's forgotten you. But even in those moments, his presence never leaves. Sometimes God is quiet because he's working in ways you can't see. Sometimes he allows the night so you'll recognize the power of the morning. And sometimes he lets the waves rise just enough so you'll remember who can calm them. In the story of your life, fear might show up often, but it will never have the final word, because trust writes the ending. Every tear you cry is seen. Every whisper of prayer is heard. And every trembling I trust you is received by a loving Father who holds the universe and your heart in his hands. When David wrote Psalm 56, he wasn't in a palace. He was running for his life. Enemies surrounded him. His future was uncertain. Yet in that chaos he didn't say, I'm not afraid. He said, when I am afraid, I will trust in you. That's courage, and not the absence of fear, but the decision to look fear in the face and still say, God is bigger. Maybe courage looks different for you. Maybe it's getting out of bed when you don't feel like it. Maybe it's forgiving someone who broke your heart. Maybe it's believing again after disappointment. Whatever it is, every small act of trust is a step toward peace. Because every time you trust God, you declare that fear doesn't get to win. Every time you pray instead of panic, every time you wait instead of worry, Every time you choose faith instead of frustration, you are walking in the light, even if you can't see the sun yet. And one day, you'll look back and see how far He's brought you. You'll realize that the things that once terrified you were actually the very things that deepened your faith. You'll see that the storm didn't break you, it built you. Fear will always try to whisper you're not enough, but trust answers back, maybe not, but God is. Fear says you'll never make it. Trust says God is with me, and He will make a way. Fear says you're alone, but faith reminds you I will never leave you nor forsake you. And that's the truth that carries us. That's what gives us peace when everything else falls apart. So when you're walking through the valley and shadows feel close, remember, the shepherd walks beside you. When the night feels endless, remember, morning always comes. When your heart is weak, remember, His strength is made perfect in your weakness. You don't have to be fearless to be faithful. You just have to be willing to trust the one who has never failed. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating. That's proof of life, proof of grace. You are still here, still breathing, still loved. And right now, in this very moment, you can whisper the same ancient truth that has carried generations before you. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Say it again, slowly this time. Let it sink deep into your soul. Let it echo louder than your worries. Because trust is more than words. It's the posture of your heart. When fear comes, don't run from it. Bring it to God. When anxiety rises, lift your eyes to the one who calms the sea. When doubt whispers, open His word and remember His promises. He said, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." He said, "I will strengthen you and help you." He said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you." Those aren't empty words, they are living promises. And they're for you right now. Maybe your storm hasn't passed yet. Maybe the healing hasn't come. The door hasn't opened. The answer hasn't arrived. But even here, in the middle of uncertainty, you can have peace. Because peace isn't the absence of the storm. It's the presence of Jesus in the storm. And when He is with you, you are never without hope. So, let this be your prayer today. Lord, even when I don't understand, I will trust you. When my heart is overwhelmed, I will trust you. When fear surrounds me, I will trust you because you are faithful. You are good. And you are here. You see, trust doesn't remove all fear instantly, but it changes the direction of your heart. It turns your eyes from the storm to the Savior. It shifts your focus from what you can't control to the one who controls everything. And in that shift, peace is born. So, walk forward. One step at a time. Let your trembling be met with grace. Let your doubts be met with truth. Let your fear be met with faith, because every heartbeat is another chance to trust again. Every sunrise is another reminder that God is not finished with your story. And even in your fear, He is writing something beautiful. So do not be afraid. You are seen, you are loved, and you are held by the hands that shape the stars. When you are afraid, remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the next step of faith, because trusting God is the safest place your heart can rest. And when you put your trust in Him, you will find that fear loses its voice, and peace begins to sing.